What's up guys, my name is JDKit5 and welcome to the Chelsea vs Palace preview. Before we do get into this video, it'd be much appreciated if you haven't done so already to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Chelsea play against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge then on the 1:30 kickoff. Very much looking forward to this particular fixture and I feel like it is a very much winnable fixture. Palace yet to pick up any points in their previous fixtures against Brentford and West Ham. I wouldn't say they look the strongest with obviously the signings that they've made a few in themselves, but obviously a lot of departures out of the club itself, a couple of injuries here and there. They're a tough side to play against, it has to be said. We've got a very good record against Palace. I'll go into that in the later parts of the video. But in terms of the actual team that they set out, obviously Glasner is a very good manager and he's got them playing to the end of last season. Hasn't really started well this season, it has to be said, but there's no saying why they can't kickstart their season at Stamford Bridge. In terms of what we're looking forward to, in terms of what we can expect from our sides, I'm just hoping consistency for the fact that obviously we played against the Vet on Thursday and unfortunately it was a defeat, but I'm waiting for an aggregate, but it was a very poor performance. The first half against Wolves was very hit and miss with a 2-2 going at the break, and obviously smashing them the way we did was very, very promising in some sense, but in others you do look at it and feel like if we play against any better time, that I don't feel like we would have the time in the second half to be able to actually get a victory itself. But all in all, it should be a winnable fixture. It should be a fixture that we're playing with great confidence and so on. I feel like what we're building is obviously something, it's a project and so on again. It's hard to be able to predict anything as of the moment, but I would like to say it's going to be a decent victory for ourselves. Again, I'll go into that in the later parts of the video. Nothing to worry about in terms of injuries realistically. The common ones for ourselves are Reece James and Romeo Lavia. James would still be suspended anyway, even if he weren't to be suspended. And the only injuries for Palace are Oliveira and Dunanu. So not too bad on the injury front for both sides in all honesty. It's only the fact that where Crystal Palace has just lost so many players with the transfer market that it has depleted their squad a little bit slightly. In terms of our record against the Eagles, I have to say it is probably one of the strongest that we'll have in our club's history. In the last 5, we have won all 5. We have won 14 in a row against Crystal Palace there, which is unbelievable to be honest. We have won 38, we have drawn 15, and we have lost 12 in our whole record against Crystal Palace. That is some record to be holding. So, in all fairness, that should put us in good stead. Bearing in mind that's 14 wins in a row, so that's X amount of seasons where we've probably had a weaker side compared to what we have now in some aspects. So it's interesting to say that we have had a good record against Crystal Palace and it's not exactly a good stomping ground for themselves to come and get a result. So it'll be interesting to see what will happen on Sunday. In terms of what I think will actually happen, I reckon a Chelsea 2, Crystal Palace 1 result. In all fairness, I feel like we'll have too much for Palace. I'd like to think the home advantage kind of brings a lot of into it. We've always been strong at home, even in our seasons where we haven't been at our best. It's one of those where I feel like we just need to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, get an early goal, being able to kind of not sit on it, be able to go on forward. I don't think it's going to be easy. Palace are always going to sit 10 men behind the ball and just sit there and see if they can kind of absorb the pressure to be able to kind of go on further. And that seems to be that a lot of the teams at the bottom half of the table seem to do. I don't think it's going to be anything special. I don't think it's going to be something that we're going to be talking about in time to come. I feel like it will be a scrappy game to an extent, but if we get the result, then I'm never really fazed. I've always said this, if you can come out at the end of a game where you have played badly and you don't think you've played that any good, but you've still come out a result, then you've still done something well. I've always said it's the result that matters, not the performance. As much as the performance counteracts it, and it's always something that you'd like to see a decent performance to a decent win, I'd much prefer to see us get a win than a good performance and lose. So yeah, it's one of those. I reckon a 2-1 victory. I don't think it's going to be easy in any way, shape or form. We need to have a good team selection, and that's what I'm going to go into in a minute, and this would be my team selection for the upcoming fixture. So here it is. Here is my predicted lineup, and I've gone for the 4-2-3-1 formation once again. Seems to be the favoured formation that Maresca has been sporting in recent games. He seems to be quite comfortable with Rob Sanchez in goal. Again, I'm still not sold on the actual idea of him being between the sticks, but he is confident with him being between the sticks. So as much as I probably wouldn't like to see him, I'd like to see Jorgensen, we are going to be seeing Robert Sanchez in goal. Left back Cucurella, Renato Vega filled the void against Servette, so he's had a rest in all fairness. So Marc Cucurella should be ready to go. And he hasn't had the best of starts of the season, I would say, and I feel like he needs to pick up his ego a little bit if he would want to start in the team consistently. Wesley Fofana recently got a call up to the French squad, and Levi Colwill got a call up to the English squad. Big times for themselves as players and so on. They've been a decent pairing. Our defensive issues have been very kind of blatant, in all honesty, in terms of the goals that we have conceded early on in the season, bearing in mind that we have conceded, 6 in 4 games now. So, yeah, it's starting to be able to be a bit questionable in terms of defence. I feel like that's our best pairing between the two, but I still feel like there's a lot of work to be done in our defensive issues. Malo Gusto on the right-hand side. Obviously, we've got no one else to play on the right-hand side, so even if we weren't to want to go ahead with it, we're still going to have to go with Malo. I feel like he's a very good right-back, it has to be said. He started the season okay. Nothing bad, nothing good, in all honesty. It's just one of those where you know there's a player there, and he should pick it up in time to come. Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, I've gone for the holding midfielders for the simple fact, as obviously Romeo Lavia is injured. Dewsbury Hall plays against the Vet, and I haven't really thought much of him as of late. I'm not going to slate him too much because he's only played a couple of games in blue. In terms of the actual holding midfield pairing itself, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo haven't really been renownedly known for an actual decent pairing between the two, and it's always seemed to be that they don't actually really work that well together. Enzo Fernandez isn't an attacking midfielder, it's quite clear. He's never really had that goal-scoring-esque about his game whatsoever. In terms of the actual defensive role, I feel like he's been okay in that sort of area, to be honest, and especially against Wolves, he was really kind of directing his play. Caicedo was very good also, and he started the season very strong, so I feel like them two would be the best pairing for what we have. João Felix on the left-hand side, fully rested against the Vet, as he wasn't able to be able to play because he wasn't registered in time. Felix should play on the left-hand side, I should say, in all honesty, with Noni Madueke on the right-hand side. I knew he'd play against the Vet, but again, after scoring a hat-trick, you have to reward him with another appearance, and Cole Palmer was very well rested, only having to play 15 minutes against the Vet, so again, another player that needs to be playing. I'd like to see him in that 10 role where I've got him at the moment, for the simple fact I feel like he controls that area so well. He can pass, he can score, he can do whatever he wants on the ball, to be honest. So I feel like he'll be really well adapted in that particular role. With Nicholas Jackson up top, we're yet to hear if we've got any striker kind of news. Bearing in mind, I am recording this on the Friday. I'm not too sure if it will go out on the Friday itself or on the Saturday. Whether we have signed another striker, I'm not too sure. But again, I don't see anyone else but Nicholas Jackson filling that void. Mark Guay played against Servette. Didn't really see much from him. Obviously, he's a very young player and he's still got a lot to learn in himself. But I do feel like there is a player in him. But I do see Nicholas Jackson playing against Crystal Palace. Got a goal against Wolves at the same time. So that's a lot to be able to go on. Hopefully, he can build on that as the season goes on. But that is my team. I'm feeling confident to an extent. I feel like we'll get the job done, but I don't feel like it will be the best fixture that we've ever watched as a Chelsea fan, unfortunately. But we can just go on from here, get the victory we need, get a decent result, and hopefully after the international break we can build on that even further and make our way up the table. This is going to be this particular episode done. I will be doing a review. I'm going to the game, so bear with me. I'll have to do it after the game when I do get home, but do bear with me. But that is it for this particular preview. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Let me know your score predictions down below in the comments, and that will be it for this particular episode. Don't forget to hit that like button, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you never miss a video. Cheers.